Alright, so this brings us to Western Waste. And you can see when you zone in, you get a little voice in your head there that says, beware, this is Dragon Country, more or less. So, they're not kidding. There's going to be dragons roaming all over this zone. There'll be some static, there'll be some roaming. There'll be lesser creatures that roam, but there are mobs here that can definitely kill you. It is a dangerous zone. So, a couple things you're going to want, of course, as we've been stressing, invis. You're going to want Lev here is going to be extremely useful. Like I said, it's not necessary in every zone, but this is one of those zones where it's extremely helpful. Okay? Alright, so once you come in from Siren's Grotto, which you can see here behind me, you'll come out this tunnel. Okay, you just follow this tunnel out. Okay, and once you come through this opening, we're in the flat of the zone. So pull up our map here. You can see it's another one of those, for the most part, big, wide open zones. Okay, there's going to be a couple of gorges in the middle of the zone, which will actually end up going in both of them. But it's a big, flat, wide open zone. But all that orange you can hopefully see there is all mobs. Okay, all those roaming or static. Okay. So we're just going to come out of the tunnel straight north here. Okay, now the easiest way to do this is to come out of the tunnel you can see behind us and just go straight north. Okay. Again, you must make sure your invisibility is going. If you're not KOS to dragons, you're going to be largely safe here, but there are some that still may bug you. Okay, you'll see here, she's always standing right there. She is KOS, but she doesn't see invis. Okay, so we'll just, if you see her there, know that keep her on your left. You're in the right spot. Okay, so just keep going north, and we'll come to the first of our gorges here. For any of you lore nerds like me, and I know Tomias as well, these giant pits here are the scars and the scars of Velious. This is where Veeshan came and deposited her first brood, all the ancient dragons in Norath. So if you're a nerd and you like that stuff, this is where all life began on Norath. So, see a dragon off in the distance. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to drop down this gorge. Now you can most definitely die doing so, okay, if you don't have Lev on. So there is a way down here, you can see, you follow that slope down and you're going to end up in the gorge here. So come here, follow this slope down, and I'll get close to the ground here, and we're down in the bottom of the gorge. Now this first scar is going to have a couple different points of interest. Straight ahead of us west, and again remember we came on the east side of the gorge here. So straight west, you'll see that rock up ahead. Okay, it's not the first rock we're concerned with, but the second. So, it doesn't look like he's up right now. But behind the rock you will find the dragon Klandikar with a K. He's got a bright red nose. Anyway, he is a Sleeper's Key dropper. So you can get a Sleeper's Tomb key piece from him. Not much else really of interest. But we will certainly be killing him often, at least in the beginning. And he's just sitting here static right here. Now, he is not rooted. He will run after you. Okay, so the raid itself, when we're killing Klandikar, will stage here, kind of halfway in between the two rocks you see. Okay, and you'll pretty much just engage him. Sometimes you can pull him back, but he fears and all that stuff, and you end up all over the place anyway. So you'll pretty much just charge him. But he'll be sitting right here. So be aware that if you're going to Dragon Necropolis, or if you end up down here somehow, that normally there's a big dragon here. Okay, but you can have the ally faction with or friendly faction with. Klandikar with a K. He's right here. But we're going to continue west. See, we're down here in the first little gorge. And these spires, obelisks with the lightning going in between them, these are zone ins for the zones in this part of the world. So if you see these, know that it's a zone. Okay. Now these can be weird to click. So the easiest way to do it is this first little pillar obelisk here. Click the base of it. Click right there on the base. You can spend minutes trying to figure out where to click, but if you click right here where we're looking at the base, you should be good. And we'll zone into Dragon Necropolis. Alright guys, so this is the zone into Dragon Necropolis. Couple things of interest here. Of course, there is the raid encounter Zlandicar with a Z. He drops the Cowl of Mortality and a few other items. But the main item of interest here is going to be his Sleeper's Tomb key. And unlike the other dragons, his key is actually tradable. So you may encounter folks selling it. And it does have stats on it and things like that. But the main key is that it is a key. So, Dragon Necropolis. We take a look at our map here. You can see a couple different sections. So, right there is the main, this boomerang mustache looking thing is the main section. If I turn the height filter on here, you can see that there's a level below that goes away. So it's basically just this boomerang, but there are caverns below it, and that's where we're going to head down. Okay, so let's re-invis here. And you can still use levitate here. Most zones in Velious you can use levitate. Okay, and there's some spiders here, along with some epic 2.0 mobs, so don't worry about those. They won't be there for us. The spiders most certainly will. But the 2.0 mobs, these little human guys here, won't be. So, one of the things to worry about in this zone is booby traps. There are booby traps. If you look at these dragon skeletons, they have a chance to spawn Dracoliches. Okay, now they're not the same strength as the Dracolich in Fear, but they are there, and they can mess with you. So it doesn't look like they're going to pop on us with these two. So what you're going to want to do is from zone in, which you can see there, the lightning, keep the zone, again, like we've been doing, keep the zone wall, this time to your right, which is the south. Okay, so we're running east, keeping the wall south. I'm just going to run over these things, see if I can trigger one so you can see what I'm talking about. Doesn't look like a... There we go. Okay. So you can see if you run over those... Oh shit, I got the whole excavators. But if you see you can run over those, they will spawn those dragons on you. So let me just go clear my aggro here. And these are two-way zone lines. At least here in Dragon Necropolis. It's a two-way zone, so you can zone in and out just by clicking. The spiders here will phase you, meaning like the little imps in Fear, they will pop you out like a wizard casting Shadow Step, so you can pop at different spots, so be aware of that. But we'll again just click the base here. Okay, so we've cleared our aggro, and here we are back in Dragon Necropolis. Okay, so before I move any further, I'm going to remember to invis myself. And we continue our run. Now, like we talked about before, we had to go clear aggro. You're going to keep this stone wall, you can see here, on your right. That's the south side, while we head east. East and slightly north. Now you can see, if you don't kill him, the constructs are still going to be up. And he can see me all the way from here. So we'll just let him charge me. And I'll kill him quick for us. So you can see, even to a level 70, they're light blue. Okay, they're level 56 cons, so they're not super easy. I'll kill him here quickly for us, so we don't have to worry. But you know, you don't want to mess with them if you don't have to, or you're not trying to. So we'll get him down real quick just to make it easy. Let's see here. Flawed topaz, that's nothing to worry about. You're going to want to pay attention to... Ooh, let me invis. Gems. You're going to get some gems that aren't like the gems you've been having in the past expansions. You're going to get some gems that end up being quest items. So they're going to be like crushed or flawed, things like that, are going to be part of your armor quest turn-ins. So this time we'll avoid that dragon, and we're still keeping the zone on our right here. Okay, we'll just go this way. Okay, again keeping the zone at the right. Okay, and then we're going to go in these big doors. Okay, so once you get to this point, okay, there's only one way to go. Okay, go down this way, you'll find a dead end. I hit a wrong button, so let's kill this phase spider quick. And these can drop the phase spider carapace, which is a pretty sought after item. It's a rare drop, but these random spiders drop it. Okay, so like I said, once you get to this point, can't go further. So we'll follow this building here, and you can see the big doors in the middle. And these spiders don't see invis, by the way. So as long as you're invis, you're good. We'll go through the door here. No key or anything, just click on. Okay. And then this little area is tricky. If you look right in front of me here, there are bugs that spawn. Little nasty bugs that can tear you up if you're not careful. So you're going to want to hug the zone, well, the structure wall here, okay? So you'll come in and you'll hug this side, okay? And you'll go right through here, okay? Same thing, there's going to be bugs. Hug the wall. Hug the wall to avoid any bugs. Okay, and then turn left. Now, straight ahead of us is the Tomb of Jaled. This is the building that houses the quest mod for your VP, or rather your Sleeper's Tomb key turn-in. Okay, it can be tricky to get in. Those doors are locked. Okay, so you're going to need a lock picker most of the time. Okay, now, there is another way in there without a lock picker, and I'm going to show you now. Okay, it can be tricky, and I'm even struggle a little bit, but there is a way up there without a lock picker. It can be done. Okay, you'll need levitate, but you can do it. Okay, so now the other thing you should know too before we go in there is that she sits on a dais in the middle of the room. Okay, you cannot jump on the dais unless you're like an ogre or a big race. Most of the time you cannot jump up there and talk to her. Okay, so you can either float from here with help, getting someone to help you open the door, get up one of these and float all the way over there. Okay, but there is a trick to coming from the roof. Okay, so you come out this tunnel. Remember, we came out this tunnel. The building's right in front of us. We're going to go around the east side of the building here. That's the right side. And we see this little cliff here in front of us. On the wall here, there's this area that's kind of jutting out. Okay? We're going to climb up on this area, and we're going to float onto those rocks you see there. Okay. You can see they can be tricky to get up. Okay, but once you're up here, you can see now we have an opportunity to float down. Okay? So, we'll find a good spot where we think we can safely live. Whether it's that way or this way. I think we can safely go this way. Okay? And you'll come up on the roof. Okay, so here we are. Once again, that was how you get to Jaled's tomb. We didn't go in there because, well, I don't have a way out. So, anyway, these rock formation behind is how you get in if you don't have a lock picker. So, we're going to actually come back across here. Let me re-invis. So, this area, once again, the standard way in is, of course, to just pick the door. Okay, pick the lock there. And if you're not interested in going there, you're going to use it as a landmark. So you're going to come to the doors, okay, and you're going to follow along the side here, okay. So you can see we got more dragon statues, etc. Or rather, dragon bones, more spiders. There is this named that spawns near here, who's the Spider Queen, and she drops a no-drop breastplate. That's pretty good. But we're just going to follow along the zone wall here. Again, keeping that to the south, which is our right side. And we'll just keep following it along. Remember, stay in vis. Nothing can really mess with you if you stay off the bones. And we'll come to this tunnel. Okay? And this is where we want to be. Okay? To the north there's nothing really to worry about. There's some epic 2.0 stuff later on in the game. But our concern is this tunnel. Okay? We just follow the zone line all the way here. Of the zone wall, rather. So let's head down here, and this is where we're going to start encountering the rat guys. Some of these fellas see invis, some don't. Okay. Now, if you recall, on our way here, I talked a little bit about bug traps that will spring a bunch of little bug mobs that can mess you up. So the best thing to do, it really isn't a good idea to have lev here. So we'll lev over, lev down. Nothing seeing invis right now. Okay, lev down here. There's only one way to go, so you won't get lost. Okay, and then once you come to this clearing, you're pretty well safe of booby traps for the time being. Okay, they're just lined up on that path we just took. Okay, now you can see some of these fellas see invis. Okay, so you got to be careful. But we just came down this tunnel, one way to be, one way to go. And we're going to keep the wall to our right. That's the south wall here. Okay, so keeping that wall to our right. Make a right along here. One way down this tunnel. Okay, not going to worry about anything but keeping this zone wall at our right, which means we'll go straight across. Okay, down by these bats. Okay, again, keep that wall to your right. Trap got me there, so you can see a booby trap. That was a G-flux trap. I resisted it, but they are there. Well, let me re-invis. Now, again, you should, I'm pretty sure that they won't spawn right here. They don't spawn on all of them. But it's safe, or best, rather, if you can, safest, to avoid the dragon bones. Okay, so you can see the zone wall. There's nothing special. It follows right along behind them. So we'll just avoid those and go straight across here. Okay, again, keeping that wall now back at our right. Only one way to go here. Okay, you'll come to an open pool. Okay, this, if you find this area, you know you're going the right way. There's some quest mobs in the water. There are other mobs in there that can mess with you. So again, swimming skill comes in handy, right? If you don't have levitate. But I really encourage you to get levitate for particular zones. This being one of them. Now, what we're gonna do is simply go straight across into and through that big waterfall ahead of us. So we'll just go ahead and float here across. And once you come out here, you just kind of hang out here for a second. You can see an alarm is activated by our presence. Okay? So we're getting close. So, one way to go here. Okay? We're going to go through this tunnel. Again, we'll consider a few mobs here to see what's what. Okay? Now, you got to be very careful. Okay? After this waterfall, you cannot go further than right here, this wall. Okay? You will stay at this wall until you get instructions from your raid leader. Okay? This is where you will start preparing for Zlandicar. Okay? You typically won't fight right here, but you'll kind of stage here and prepare. Okay, so Zlandicar is up, so we'll get a look at him to kind of see what he looks like, what he's about. I won't kill him for us right now, because I'm not going to worry about all that. But it's basically a big open area here. Now, as you creep, you can even see right here on my screen. If you look there, kind of in the middle of my screen, you can see his head poking out. Okay. Okay. You can see him there peeking in. Okay. So this will be where you kind of, you buff back there. Once everyone's prepared, you stay right here. Okay. This is where you'll line up for him. But you got to stay back there, just in case, and you have to hug this wall. Because if he sees you, he's coming. He's not rooted. Okay, so I'm going to re-lev myself here. Because we're going to make a run for it. I'm not going to worry about killing him. So, you'll come in. There's Zlandicar. Let's see. I'm a higher level, so he doesn't see me here. I'm only threatening to him, but there he goes. He's coming for me. Okay? So this is where you'll fight him. Sometimes you'll pull him back into the room here and actually fight him up here at his spot. Some raid leaders like to fight him right where he's sitting right now. Okay? Mojo's tanking him a bit so we can see. But this is his lair. You typically fight in here. If not, you'll fight him right here where Mojo's tanking him. Okay? He's a cannibal, you know.
What, he eats dragons?
Yep, that's why he's been banished here. He's banished to their resting place, yeah, but he eats the flesh of dragons. And so he's sent here to guard their resting place as punishment. Okay, so here we are back out in Western Waste. Now, you might think to yourself, how the hell am I going to get out of here? But you can actually just walk right on up the gorge here. So just come out behind you. And then you can just go on up the gorge. Now, I'm not invis, so I want to make sure I do that quickly here. Okay. So, here we are back at the first gorge. Down there at the lightning pillars. That's where we came from. Klandikar, that area directly in front of us. And zone in to the south. But now we're interested in heading further north. So looking at the map here, you can see we're at Dragon Necropolis. Let me zoom out some. So we're down here at the southern portion. And we're going to end up going next to this big gorge here, and you can see Temple of Veeshan in red there. So let's do that. So you're just going to go north here, using the first gorge as your marker. If you're coming out of Dragon Necropolis, or you want to go straight north, and really any point you come across here, you'll go straight north. So I'm just going to follow this down a little bit here. See some ice burrowers there. It can be nasty. But I'm actually going to float across to the other side, south, just so you can see where you're coming from. Float over this little section here and get up. Okay, so we're back on the other side. This is the south side. So, for example, if you didn't want to go to Dragon Necropolis or Klandikar, you could, of course, skip that. Okay, but I just want to show you, here's the gorge again where we just were. Okay, we're on the south side of it now. Okay, you can see that obelisk up ahead. That's where the Drake Trinala was. Not something we need to worry about, but she's a great landmarker. So, if you go north from here, you can actually just float on across the gorge if you have left. You can, of course, run around it. There is a way to run around it. But for our purposes here, and hopefully for yours, you'll just lev across. Okay, so south side moving north. And we're north now across the gorge. Okay, now we're in kind of the real danger zone here. Okay, there's some nasty mobs here. Dragons, you can see up ahead there. They can mess your world up if you're not careful. Okay. Now, even if you're on Dragon faction, there are a couple that are not on that faction that can mess with you. So, You should always run around invis. You can never run everywhere uninvis with confidence, okay? You can see one dragon there, there's another, so they're all over the place. Okay, and some of them do see invis, and some of them, like I said, can be real nasty, and have, you know, gravity flux or all kinds of dragon type abilities. Okay, and some of them, like this fellow over here, are static. Stay at these little crystal areas. More so quest mobs than anything else. These dragons really aren't something I will be killing as a guild. They do have some minor drops on them, nothing special. None of them have Sleeper's Tomb keys or anything like that. But they do have little medallions that have some nice stats on them. So maybe something you can do as a group. They're not super hard, right? These aren't really raid encounters. Group or two can get those down. Right. But anyway, you'll come up here as we continue north, little northwest. Okay, you'll come up to the second gorge. Okay, and you can see here we got dragons. Okay, so this is the gorge, and you can see that the torches down there. That little structure, that's the entrance to Temple of Veeshan. Okay. Now, these dragons don't have the same vision aggro range, line of sight aggro range that some of the raid boss dragons have, but they're still best to avoid. You don't want to get too close. So I like to get as close to I can to TOV as possible before I head down. So, again, Lev making that super easy. Like I said, you can and will die jumping down these if you're not careful. Okay? Obviously, I'm not going to get too close to the dragon that's up here. Roamer. But we will float on down here. And it looks like Sontulak is not up. So these dragons that guard, or that are kind of posted out here, they're always going to be up. And these ones drop better stats than a lot of the roaming ones, their medallions. But again, none of them are Sleeper's Tomb keys. Okay, none of these that are by the obelisks here. However, right in front of us here, on our server, typically there's going to be a large dragon called Sontulak. Okay, he guards the entrance to the zone. He sees invis, and he will mess you up. Okay, so you're saying, well, how do I get through? Well, you either kill him, you can run by him. Okay, Lev making that the easiest, or you can train him out pretty good. So if you're coming, he actually won't aggro you, so you're close. Maybe even up here. Okay, he'll be sitting right there, and then he's gonna come for you. Okay, and anyone can do it as long as you have movement speed. Don't be scared. He is scary looking, but he's not gonna hurt you if you just follow what you're doing here. You're just gonna train him out without getting near the other dragons if you can. Just kind of train them out, train them down and around. And got to be careful. Make sure that he's still with you and he's following the loop you are. Okay? Don't let him come back and cut across here. But as long as he's behind you and not over there, you're good. Okay? So he's still following you along here. And now the entrance is, of course, open with him behind you, and you can go in. And you can do that to either side here. You can train him to either side. Okay. Now there is a roamer here. In fact, it's probably better just to use this side because there's more room. But again, you can do either. But there's a roamer here who's not very hard. But there is a roaming dragon up and down, and they are actually on Kunark Dragon faction. called Isorpa of the Ring. And you can see she just walked down east here, but she'll be walking back and forth, and she can mess with you too. He doesn't see him, but she can mess up your kiting here if you're not careful. So be looking for that. Okay. So, in any case, with Sontulak not up, let's say we kill them or we trained them out. Let's go straight into here. North, right? We're down in the gorge. We're going to go north in the structure here. Toward TOV. Now, those purple crystals you see there, they won't be there on our expansion, so you don't worry about those right here. But you will see the lightning pillars. Okay? Right? So Sontulak will be chasing you. And then you'll come in. And again, it's always best just to come right here and click at the base of the pillar. Alright, guys. So here we are at the famous Temple of Veeshan. The real loot pinata of this expansion. Okay? When you zone in, you'll zone here in the middle of this room. This is the lobby, typically called. Right? Now, this is the only safe spot, if you can call it that. The only place in the zone where mobs don't roam or spawn. Okay? Right here at zone in. Okay? There's only one way to go. No other doors. Okay? Except north through this door. Now then, beyond that door are going to be a ton of mobs. Okay? They're going to be high level mobs. And they're going to hit hard. Right? They're not going to be higher level than you at this point as a level 60. But they could be a white con. But they're typically going to be blue and light blue at this point. Okay? Pop open the door, and we'll see stairs right there. Okay? Now, on either side of the wall here, to the right and left of those stairs, are drakes guarding it. Okay? And so that'll be your first pull. You'll typically pull the first couple of mobs, first few mobs out here, kill them here in the lobby, so you can move safely as a guild up through. So let's get as far as we can. I am KOS to dragons, so I'm just gonna kind of run around here, see what we can do. We'll take as good a look as we can, but let's go ahead. Let's go ahead north. Okay, so you can see there are drakes there on either side, and they do have good line of sight range. They're already coming after me. Okay. But we're just going to follow straight down north here. And you'll have a raid leader at this point guiding you. But you can see some pictures of some dragons, famous dragons of Norath there. There's Nagy. Okay, but you'll just come through this door. Okay? Or these double doors here. They both go to the same spot. And we'll click through that door. And again, guys, there's dragons, drakes, mobs, worms everywhere here. So you'll be moving as a guild for the most part. Okay? None of this is safe unless if you're not KOS to dragons, you can move through this part of the zone safely, okay? Once you're up here at this four-way, and we're not going to go too deep into TOE today, but to the east you'll find the halls of testing, and that's where you do, you'll find quest armor drops for dragon faction. You can go in there and the dragons in there are KOS, but you kill them for armor drops. Or you go to the west side, where there's some quest mob dragons, and this is where the giant armor drops. So if you're trying to get allied with giants, you'll go over here. Okay? So, the main thing is Eric and Skyward, and he joined, or guards, North Temple of Veeshan, which is very dangerous, straight ahead of us. We'll go here just so you can see a little bit. There's some raid encounters that you'll stage for in either of these doors. But you'll go straight up here to go to the north wing. You'll be following a raid time too, guys, so don't worry about that. You'll come to the minis here, down these stairs. Okay? Minis, minis, minis. But carefully up these, you'll find a dragon Arianar, and he will come for you immediately. And this is the fabled north wing of the Temple of Veeshan. So we'll come down these stairs. There'll be a huge dragon here, which you'll fight in this hallway. We'll come down these stairs into the pit here. Okay? And these dragons and drakes here flurry, but basically all around here, there's 6, 7 dragons that are hanging out. And we'll make our way all through here till finally we go inside that structure and kill Bulak, the boss of the expansion.
So, thanks very much for showing us around Velious.
It's been my pleasure.
And I look forward to joining everybody when we go kill some dragons and dwarves and giants.
Sounds like fun. Lots to kill, lots to do. I hope this little tour was helpful to you guys. Feel free to ask any questions about anything. I'm happy to help.
Excellent. Thanks again, Nugs, and we'll see you guys in Velious.
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.